It's time for Bet On It, brought to you by Warhorse Sportsbook. If you're thinking to yourself, hey, DB gave out a couple more winners last night, Tennessee and Texas. Maybe I need to take a little advantage, make a little money off of what my guy DB over here is doing. Got to get over to Warhorse Sportsbook. Check out the casino in Lincoln or in Omaha, and they've got you covered. Whether it's just your straight lines, your money lines, your parlays, your spread, whatever you want to do, they've got you covered. Check out warhorsecasino.com for promotions and a full list of house rules. DB.
I have to start by I'm a little pooped.
Oh no, what happened?
Well, I didn't get to my question with K2 about Nebraska and USC tonight.
He threw us off a little bit with the hot air balloon thing, if I'm being honest.
You know, because he just was in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. Los Angeles.
Yeah, and he had SC. He's had Nebraska multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious to get his thoughts as a pretty paltry. Are they a 6-point fave?
Ooh, let's look.
I think
let's see what we got here.
I think they're a 6-point fave. Aaron hasn't sent me anything this morning, so I don't know where his head is.
We don't know what he's thinking yet.
He usually has a feel for Nebraska.
I've got Nebraska at 5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
Does that sound right to you?
It honestly feels a little high.
What?
Nebraska's not playing very good.
You think 5 feels high?
I think 5.5 feels a little high.
Well, I smell bad.
I would have made it like 3.5 probably. Nebraska's not playing very well right now. I don't know how you can give them that much of a benefit of the doubt.
Well, I'm back in the friendly confines, and I get it. They just stubbed their toe there.
I don't know. I don't feel great about it. I don't feel great about 5.5. I'm not saying they won't win, but 5.5 feels a little heavy to me.
Wow.
Personally.
Denny Downer.
I'm just saying.
Does 7 feel right for St. John's?
7 for St. John's. Yes, I think so. I don't love Xavier.
I don't even know if Xavier's any good.
I don't either, and I think St. John's is pretty good. It's at home. Well, Madison Square Garden. It's not at Carneseca, but I mean, ESPN's got it 7.5. 7.5 seems right. I think.
What time does that tip?
That's a 6. That's an early. That's 6 p.m. on FS1.
So I wouldn't call 6 early anymore.
What's the early one? Is it 5:30 or 5?
Yeah, there's 5s now.
There's a handful of 5:30s and 5s.
But I'd call 5:30 early. Probably
all right.
Now.
I mean, that is 7 o'clock local time for.
Which is bad with the 8 o'clock tip because that's still 6 o'clock for Southern Cal.
Which is not terrible for them.
No, I'm trying.
Oh, you're saying it's too good for them.
Yeah, kind of like. And who is it? Where is Miami? Miami is going somewhere.
I'll look.
And like
your favorite Miami Hurricanes?
Yes. One moment, please, Mike.
Yep. Miami is headed to Stanford. That's a 10 o'clock tip, so 11 Miami time.
Can you believe that?
And Stanford is a 10.5 point favorite, which actually seems low.
It doesn't seem like enough.
No, because Miami is god-awful.
Yes, they are.
Yes. They are.
Yes, they are.
Truly.
I knew they were going someplace crazy.
The dog doo-doo.
Miami traveling to Stanford.
The country.
For a weekday conference game.
At 10 p.m.
They
have lost 7 in a row.
Look at some of the scores, though, my God.
Oh, it's brutal. The last one, 117-74. Before that, 89-54. Before that, just 10-point loss, 88-78. 15 before that. They did take it to 1 point against Virginia Tech, lost by 10 to Boston College, and lost by 4 in overtime to Mount St. Mary's. They lost in overtime to Mount St. Mary's, which I would have to look up and make sure that's not an NAIA school. I'm pretty sure it's not.
What do you think of Mount Union?
No, I'm thinking of St. Marty's in South Dakota. I always confuse St. Marty's and Mount St. Mary's. They're very similar.
Yeah.
They did beat Presbyterian. Good for them. That broke up a previous 7-game losing streak. That's a bad basketball team.
It's kind of weird.
They might be the worst basketball team in the country.
And
in terms of major conference, like that might be the worst basketball team in the country.
Do you have? Can you pull up you have KenPom open?
Yeah, I've got it up.
Who's the highest rated Big Ten team?
Highest rated Big Ten team is it's not
Michigan State.
It's not Michigan State. They're lower than I thought. It might be Illinois. Illinois is 9. Just off the top of my head, I'm looking back. Yeah, Illinois at 9, and then Purdue at 10, and then Michigan at 12, and Michigan State at 14. You've got 9 teams between 9 and 14, or 5 teams between 9 and 14. But Illinois, Purdue, Michigan, Michigan State in that order.
Gonna be interesting week.
You know who the highest ranked Big East team is? The metrics don't love the Big East this year.
I'll go with. You know what?
Who are you going with?
I'll play it safe and go Marquette, but I want to say St. John.
Marquette is correct.
Okay.
They're 13. St. John's is next at 20.
I'm not bad.
Creighton is next at 32.
I'm not bad.
And then Connecticut at 35. I wonder if Connecticut's Ken Palm would be higher if
Creighton's
the refs
schedule wasn't. What happened to our internet? Are you running?
I think so. If the refs didn't dislike Dan Hurley so much, they'd probably be higher. In the
Is your wireless on or off?
Mine's off. I think. I don't know.
Good answer.
I'm plugged in. That's all I know.
What happened?
What happened?
That doesn't have anything to do with the Steelers, Shane.
Are you sure?
Well, they haven't been on television this morning.
Are they gonna sign Sam Darnold? What are they gonna do?
I don't know, but watching the replays of this game, I think Philly puts it on Washington.
Yeah, it sort of feels like Cinderella's about to lose her slipper here with Washington.
Is that crazy?
No. I think Philadelphia is a lot better than Washington. And I think Washington has been not fortunate. They've played well, but I think they've sort of maximized what this season can be. Like, let's not forget this is a team that took their last possession to win 5 games in a row before sort of handling Detroit in the divisional round. I think maybe we put too much value in Detroit's win over Minnesota and thought that it meant they were healthier and more ready to go than they were. That's a team that was pretty banged up, especially defensively. I don't know that you can – I don't put too much value. Like, it was a great win for Washington, but I think that told me more about Detroit than it did Washington.
Jaden Daniels since December.
Mm-hmm.
This is according to ESPN on the morning show. 7-0 record, 15 passing touchdowns, 0 turnovers in the red zone.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
That'll get it done.
I know some guys like to just read stats and give information, and they don't like to cite sources.
Or watch games.
And I don't want to be that guy.
That's from ESPN.
Or gal.
That's from ESPN. Currently on ESPN too, under D's Notes, which is a funny play on words.
No, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
No, I think I tend to agree with you on Philadelphia. I think that's going to be sort of a statement game for Philadelphia. Although I don't know how much value I put in a statement where if you had told me coming into this thing that Washington was going to get stomped in the playoffs, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. They sort of felt like a borderline playoff team. I don't know. Year one under Daniels, I think this is about their ceiling. And they reached it, and good for them. And
now your feel good story. We were just riding with this dude. Now you're all of a sudden out.
No, I'm not out. It's just I think this was their ceiling this year.
No, you're probably right.
I'd be more shocked if they made the Super Bowl than if Philly waxes them.
Although, how about if the Commanders are 1 win away from being in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's wild. I don't even know what to do with that. But if you look back, there's some really strange teams that make conference championship games.
Rejoice.
Look, I don't know what the rejoice was. I don't
rejoice that they're there. What strange teams like who, Ravi?
I mean, like Mark Sanchez making AFC championship games. Like if you go back through the years, there's some randos that you're like, yeah, they're probably not one of the 4 best teams in the NFL. That happened. Like, it's not as because we do this in the NBA a lot, we do it in the NFL a lot, where a team will make a conference championship and we think, oh, all of a sudden they're going to take that next step. Sometimes making the conference championship was it.
Step.
Was it, right? We did this with the Trailblazers, like in one of Damian Lillard's years, where it's like, oh man, they could take the next step. And like, nope, that was the ceiling. We do that a lot. There's some randos that make the conference championship games.
I just look at them defensively, and I don't have a ton of confidence they can slow Philly down.
Absolutely not. Do you have any locks today?
No, not yet.
All right, check. Make sure you check DB's Twitter.
Yeah.
He'll put some locks out later.
I'll put it out there for you.
Or maybe he'll put them in on betting bites. We don't know. We'll see what happens.